Afternoon, peeps. Good afternoon, everyone. All right, let's see what there is to talk about from the world of boxing today. We haven't done one of these catch-up videos for a few days, so there's always quite a lot to go through. All right, what's this one first? Golovkin on fights with Canelo. People who thought I lost are comfortable being delusional. He's still very bitter about this, isn't he? I think he's bitter for a couple of things. I thought he won the first fight. It was given a draw. I thought he won it. It wasn't like a robbery to give it a draw, though. It was close. I thought he won it 7-5. So it being given a draw isn't the worst result in the world. You know how difficult it is to get a result against Canelo. I think even Floyd realised that when one of the judges gave his fight with Canelo a draw, which was just ridiculous. But I thought the first fight was close. I thought he'd done enough to nick it. But I think he's more upset about the way in which his second fight played out. Remember, it was delayed because Canelo tested positive for clenbuterol. Do you remember all that? Was it clenbuterol? Yeah, it was. The second fight, though, I'm a huge Gennady Golovkin fan, and the second fight, I could see how you would score that for Canelo. Again, I thought it was close. You could have given it to Golovkin, Canelo, or a draw. But we know in that instance, if it's that close, it's only going to go to one man, isn't it? That's just, I hate that boxing is that, but that's just boxing. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with Gennady Golovkin. I think he just needs to focus on this latter stage of his career. It's been very stop-start in the last couple of years, very stop-start. It should have been that Murata fight in, I think it was the end of December or January. Obviously, COVID and the world shut down again. We are here in Murata now for May, June, and then we wait and see if he signed his part of the deal for a trilogy with Canelo in September. That's kind of looks like what's going to happen, right? It's going to be Canelo versus Dimitri Bivol in May, then ideally, if you're a Canelo or Golovkin, Canelo-Golovkin in September. We'll see. What's this? Anything else? Nathan Gorman aims to make a statement by stopping Scott Alexander. Who? Let's have a look at Nathan. I don't even know who. I don't even know when Nathan Gorman's fighting. When is this fight? Okay, Newcastle, the 2nd of April. Scott Gorman. Oh, sorry, Scott Alexander. Apologies. Who is 16-4. Okay, I know what he means by the statement now, because Scott, although he's had 4 defeats, he's never been stopped. He's from America. Last time out, he had an 8-rounder that he lost against Carlos Negron by unanimous decision. All right, look, let's see. Let's see what Nathan Gorman can do, because he's clearly, he's almost been not forgotten, but when he got beat by Daniel Dubois and the way in which he got beat, and I know there were so many things going on outside the ring, you've almost forgot about Nathan Gorman. He needs to get his name back in that mix. I wouldn't mind seeing, I don't know who I would favour in this fight, but a Gorman versus a Wardley. Is Wardley above Gorman now? I'm not quite sure, but those are the kind of fights he needs to get his name in the mix. Like, when people think about next opponents for Fabio Wardley, they don't even think about Gorman. I just did, but most people don't. So Gorman needs to get his name back in the mix somehow, and I don't know if stopping Scott Alexander does it. Not quite sure. Archie Sharp, Shakur Stevenson knows he can't avoid me for much longer. I don't think Shakur Stevenson's avoiding you, Archie Sharp. With all due respect, big fan of Archie Sharp, but Shakur Stevenson's fighting Oscar Valdez next for unification. April 30th, big fight against an unbeaten Oscar Valdez. So I don't know if you're avoiding Archie Sharp by fighting Oscar Valdez. And then, after that, Shakur Stevenson's probably going to go to 135 pounds, and then again, bigger fish to fry, 135 pounds. So look, I get what Archie Sharp's doing. It's always good. If I'm Archie Sharp, I do that. I call out the #1 in the division. You know, Shakur Stevenson, I want you. You're avoiding me, but I don't know how many people are going to really believe that. Eddie Hearn, Kell Brook against Conor Benn is a brilliant fight. Eddie has said he's spoken to Kell in immediate aftermath, which is good. I didn't even know they had a talking relationship anymore, but it's good to see that they are still on talking terms. You would rather, out of the options, that triangle, and it's a weird one, right? Because Chris Eubank Jr. fought Liam Williams, who called him out, Conor Benn. And now Kell Brook fought Amir Khan, who called him out, Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr. So there's a weird triangle between all 3 of them. Of the 3 of them, the one that makes most sense is Kell Brook, 149 pounds versus Conor Benn. That's the one that makes most sense. It's a big fight. Is it the bigger money fight out of all of them on the table? Not sure. I think Chris Eubank Jr. versus Kell's probably a bigger money fight. But look, I mean, look, all of a sudden, Kell Brook's got a couple of options. From having no options a year ago to now, Chrissy Britton Jr. at 160, pay-per-view fight. Conor Benn at 149, 150. Who knows, with DAZN's new pay-per-view platform, that could be a pay-per-view fight. So he's got options, which is why I think he won't retire. He's going to have one more because of those options. You know what I need to do, guys? We've not done it. I want to have a look at the fight card this Sunday at O2 Arena. It still goes ahead. I was actually thinking it was going to be cancelled because of the pictures we've all seen with the roof being destroyed. But it does go ahead. Lawrence Okolie takes on Michael, is it Kieslak or Chieslak? I need to find out because I'm hosting the show. Should know that, shouldn't I? Let's have a look at the card. I've got Lawrence Okolie versus Michael Kieslak, we're going to say for now. Kieslak's only lost the once. That was to Makabu for the vacant WBC Cruiserweight strap. Lawrence Okolie, obviously, look, I interviewed Lawrence Okolie on Monday evening. It's an interview that comes out on Friday. And I didn't want to be disrespectful to him, but because I have no idea what Lawrence does and all the effort he puts in behind closed doors with Shane McGuigan and all the effort to make weight because he's a very big guy. But I said, you've made it look easy. Like you've won British, European, Commonwealth, and now a world title, and relatively easy, right? Almost unscathed, you would say. He's had some tough moments in fights, but very, very small and very, very minimal. And I even don't know. And look, Kieslak's a good fighter, by the way. Strong, tough fighter. But I feel like Lawrence will get through him just like that, and he won't get the recognition for it. He won't, because he's not a big name, because he's not a Bradis or a Makabu that we know, because he's maybe even not a heavyweight, because Lawrence has spoken about going up to heavyweight. I don't think he's going to get the respect for it, because he's making it look very easy. If he were to come through a war against Kieslak, he might get a bit more respect, but I don't know if he's going to get it. But look, I expect Lawrence to get the job done. This is, I think he's 6th fight camp with Shane McGuigan now, so both of them are in sync. There is no, I've always said it takes a few fight camps to kind of be on the same level and same mindset as your trainer. He's there now. His inside game's got a lot better. We all knew they had the outside game because of his reach and range. So look, I expect him to get the job done, and he will get the job done. Bradis, I believe, is in the studio with us, Marius Bradis. Yes, I will ask him about that Jake Paul tattoo. But obviously the big question is, are you here to, eye up Okolie? Is that a fight you want? Is it a unification fight that can happen in the summer? Let's see what Bradis says. But yeah, Lawrence Okolie should get the job done. Good luck to him headlining at the O2 as well. Should be a good night for him. European featherweight title fight between Kareem Guerfi and Jordan Gill. Kareem's got 5 defeats on the resume. Don't be fooled by those, though, because those are all at the weight above. This is now a weight that I think he's more sorry, apologies. Those are all at the weight below. These are the weights now that I think he probably performs better at. And we'll see what he can do. We'll see what he can do. We'll see what Jordan Gill can do. This fight was supposed to happen, I think, about 6 or 7 months ago. It's been on, off, on, off. Jordan Gill looks better, I think, now with Dave Coldwell. I think Dave Coldwell's making him do a bit more better work sort of outside. And what I mean by that is I've always thought that Jordan Gill, inside, very, very good. Good inside fighter. Outside, I thought he didn't know really how to use his jab properly, how to circle. I think he looks a bit better now. And I expect him to be European champion by the end of the night. We've got Anthony Fowler versus Maciek. Obviously, Anthony Fowler's first fight at 160. Still looks ridiculously ripped. Like, 154 must have been difficult for him to make. But look, let's see what he can do at 160. Obviously, DAZN and Matchroom have Felix Cash at 160. Who knows? That's a good little fight, right, between those two. If Anthony Fowler looks good and comes through against Maciek. Fabio Wardley versus Daniel Martz. Daniel Martz has got 9 defeats. Fabio Wardley obviously unbeaten. Fabio Wardley's an interesting one because, again, you're looking at a guy here that there is no amateur background. He's a white-collar boxer that's come through. So there will be some that look at that matchup and think, oh, come on, man. But I think you've got to be careful with Fabio Wardley. I think he's a good fighter, and I think there could be, I don't even know what his ceiling is. I don't know if his ceiling's European. I'm not quite sure. But again, take it easy with him. Only had 12 wins. Sorry, only had 12 fights on the resume. Yes, 12 wins, but I think this is a smart matchup. I do, just because I still think there's a lot of learning on the job for Fabio Wardley. So let's see if they can give him 4, 5, I'm being greedy here, 6 fights in 2022. Then we'll see for 2023 with me of Wardley. Galal Yafai is the one I'm really excited about. Obviously, look, Olympic gold medalist. On his debut as well, this is what I like. He's getting chucked in a 10-rounder for the WBC International Flyweight title. Love it. If these guys are good enough, especially guys that come out of the Olympics who fought all over the world, big amateur background, don't put them in 6-rounders and 8-rounders. Put them in big fights immediately, 10-rounders. Let's see what they've got. And let's see what an Olympic gold medalist has got. A lot of people have been talking about Galal Yafai. Obviously, the Yafai brothers are well known, but he could be the best. And that's saying something when Galal Yafai won a world title. So let's see what Galal Yafai can do. It's a 10-rounder against Bautista. I don't know much about Bautista. I will do my research before fight night, but let's see. I got Campbell Hatton on the card as well. I think this is his first fight since he's been away for a couple, obviously away from the limelight. Just been doing his thing in fight cards abroad. I think one was in Gibraltar, one was in Austria. Could be wrong there. And Chevon Clark and John Hedges. So look, we'll see. We'll see what we'll see how the fight card plays out. I'm excited for it. I haven't done anything for the zone since Chisora Parker. Obviously, I've been away doing other things, but I'm excited to be back and excited to be back in the studio with Mr. Tony Bellew. All right. Anything else that we can talk about? Media day was yesterday for Virgil Ortiz versus Michael Mickinson. Big ask for Michael Mickinson, man. Big ask. Obviously, I done the video yesterday night about Dillian Whyte signing his side of the agreement. Obviously, Tyson Fury signed his ages ago. Tyson Fury says that's it, done, off social media. Time to kind of concentrate and get ready for... Look, he knows it's a big fight. He knows it's a tough fight. As much as people might laugh and, you know, it's easy work for Fury. It's not easy work. Like, don't be silly. Honestly, if you're buying into that Dillian Whyte is easy work for Tyson Fury, then you might need to watch a bit more boxing. Is that me saying that I don't think Fury's going to win? No. I think Fury's going to win. I've had enough of overlooking Fury when it comes to these type of fights. But Dillian Whyte will bring it, and it will be a tough fight. And Fury will win, but it won't be easy. It won't. Some people have already said this could be the upset. This could be. We always get an upset in boxing this year. This would be a big one. So we'll see. A bit here about Hearn saying that Khan was absolutely shot to pieces, but he never gave up. Yeah, Khan was. Khan sold us that fight quite well, and he was done, wasn't he? He was done. Savannah Marshall's fight against Femke Hermans has been moved to April 2nd. Look, let's hope she gets that, and then we'll see about Clarissa Shields versus Savannah Marshall in the summer on Sky, which will be a good one. And this is it about Kovalev. We'll end on this one, actually. Kovalev aiming... Actually, there's one more. There's one more interesting one that just popped up. Kovalev aiming for cruiserweight title fight. Title shot, apologies. Wants 3 or 4 fights at cruiserweight, then he wants to call it quits. I mean, who knows, man? I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, Kovalev's done, isn't he? And Kovalev was one fucking mean SOB years ago. I remember when he came over here and bashed up Nathan Cleverly, and Cleverly said it felt like he was getting hit. What did he say? With a baseball bat? Or was it a sledgehammer? It was one of those two anyway. He was a violent, aggressive, hard-hitting fighter. Those fights against Jean Pascal, where he just bust up Jean Pascal, he was something special, Sergei Kovalev. And I hope that people remember that about him. I hope people don't just look at, the big fight against Canelo and maybe even his wobbly performance against Anthony Yard. Kovalev was... There was about 3 or 4 years when Kovalev and Gennady Golovkin were the boogeymen of boxing. The boogeymen of boxing. Like, no one wanted it. No, people might talk now. No one wanted it when they were there. And it's a shame when you see fighters sort of come to the end. It is. When people that wouldn't have beaten them... Like, Canelo wouldn't have beat Kovalev when Kovalev was on top. No chance. Absolutely no chance. Kovalev would have broken him. And I'm being serious, by the way. Kovalev that fought Jean Pascal, that Kovalev there versus Canelo, Kovalev he ain't fighting. Canelo ain't fighting him. It took Canelo 10 rounds to get rid of that Kovalev. He ain't fighting him. So it's a shame. Right, here we go. This is what I wanted to end on, actually. Crawford, I've done my part trying to get Errol Spence. I'd love Charlo Castano winner. Interesting. A lot of you have reached out to me and said, what about Crawford going to 154 pounds? He has said he wants to go to 154 just because there's not much left at 147. He can't get any fights. I'm going to do a video, though, about a fight I think he should take at 147, but we'll see. we'll see what happens. He just needs to fight, doesn't he? I mean, he's over here, and it's good to see him over here, and what he said about UK fight fans, but there's not even a fight on the horizon for him. Like, there's not even nothing being spoken about. It's not like, oh yeah, you know, in the summer we're going to come. Nothing has been said about Terence Crawford. And he said he wants to fight Charlo Castano with it. They're not going to fight until the summer. Castano's obviously out injured. They're not fighting. Bloody hell. All right, anyway, peace and love.